Welcome to More Fanime. I am your fan of more anime, Mr. Morfetto, and today we will be having another character analysis video, and I will be speaking of one of the very popular One Piece characters, Usopp. That's correct. The Sniper King himself, Usopp. This guy debuted real early on in One Piece, and I thought I might just give you my thoughts and feelings on the guy. I am currently, give or take, around 600 chapters into my One Piece adventure. And I thought I'd give you my thoughts and opinions and feelings of the Straw Hat crew now, individually deep dive into their character traits and their personalities, their character development so far, how I feel about them personally, before we get to the second half of One Piece coming up soon enough on my current journey. Well, I gotta say, Usopp's pretty cool. I would have to say my first impressions of the guy, though, was he's kind of lame looking. And I have a feeling that this character in particular might be the thing that makes people who aren't fans of One Piece turn away from it. They might look at this character design if someone says, hey, here are the main characters of One Piece, and they look at Luffy. He's like, okay, yeah, he's kind of goofy looking, but he does look like a anime character. And then you've got Zoro, who's looking like a badass, unless you think the three swords thing is ridiculous. And then, of course, Sanji, he looks like a badass. I would not be against looking at those three if they're in the front of the line. Nami, cool female anime character, rad, awesome. Then you see Usopp. You see this guy with this long Pinocchio nose, and you just don't know what to think of him. But as soon as you get to know this character just a little bit, as soon as you watch his debut arc in Syrup Village, you learn why he is like he is. You learn what he comes from, what his dreams are, how much, I would say, even though he is the most cowardly of the Straw Hat crew, at least early on, and still to this day, he is considered one of the most cowardly members of the Straw Hat crew. I would say that he does have a lot of heart and courage inside of him. And I do believe he is a underdog, and everybody likes an underdog story. He does not look intimidating, but he does stand up for what he believes in, and he does stand up for his friends. And you quickly learn that he will sacrifice himself for his crew if necessary. I mean, it's shown even in the first arc when he tells his crew at the time, the Usopp Pirates, to not get involved in the fight with the cat guy. I think I want to call him Kuro. I can never remember this dude's name. Kuro, the cat fella with the glasses and the cool Freddy Krueger weapon. Yeah, that guy. His fight with him, he told his Usopp Pirates not to get involved. I think he lied to them. That's another thing about Usopp. He lies. He's a big fibber. But that comes into play in his character many times. And to be honest with you, I would never have guessed this. Usopp has some of the best fights in the series that I've seen so far. Usopp kills it when he is in a fight that he either has to be in, or he's strategized to be in, or he's planned. Usopp is very much a useful Krillin type character if I was going to draw from Dragon Ball, even though he does have the English voice actor, as that does link him with Krillin in my mind, but he does kind of fill that role. He's one of Luffy's closest friends, the main protagonist, and he is very cowardly when, big things happen, but he's also able to, I don't know, I feel like this Usopp has more character development than Krillin ever got. Maybe early Krillin had some pretty rad character development, but once Dragon Ball Z hit, he kind of hit a wall. And once I don't think that Oda is going to do the same with Usopp. I don't think he will drop the ball with this character. He is one of the best developed characters from the show, probably because he started at rock bottom. To compare him also to another anime character from the Naruto series, I would say he's kind of a Shikamaru, which Shikamaru is kind of Krillin of his show, even though I would say he is much more capable with his strategic abilities. I would say that maybe if you took Krillin and you took Shikamaru and put them together, you might get an Usopp. Maybe you just I mean, he's got the strategic skill when he has the prep time, kind of like Batman. This dude can handle himself if he knows his opponent, as shown in one of the best fights against Luffy, a fight that was caused because of him, though, because he cares so much about his crew and his ship, or the ship, the Going Merry. He caused a fight, a battle that he had with Luffy, and he even gave himself time to come up with a strategy, and it didn't. Technically, he did not win, but he was beaten up by the Frankie crew twice, so he wasn't doing so well to begin with. But he was able to keep Luffy, who I assume was holding back a bit, at bay for a while. And I'm sure he impressed his crew, but of course it was a sad moment. But it is still one of the best fights I've seen in this series. So much fun. And that's more recent in my read, but I feel his fights even early on, like against Chu of the Arlong gang, his big coming out fight, really, this was kind of his debut, like, one-on-one battle. He helped out on his island, but when they helped Nami out on Arlong Park, when he was there and he did the Arlong Park walk with Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy, but you kind of had it in the back of your head like, well, Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy are going to do the heavy lifting here. Usopp, in a lot of ways, is a support fighter. He's a sniper. He's really good at... Early on, we find out that he's very good at hitting his target. Kind of like his father, who is the sniper for Shanks' crew. I think his name is Yasopp. So he gets it from his father, and I'm sure he practiced that with his slingshot and whatnot because of his father and because of his dreams to be a great warrior someday. A pirate. He's dreamed of being a pirate. He actually treats piracy kind of like Luffy. It's like a fun... He does take it seriously, but he does imagine pirates to be these warriors of the sea, these noble men, even though a lot of pirates we've met have kind of been assholes. I mean, some of them had reasons to be assholes. They were, maybe at one time, all these pirates wanted to be a hero of the sea, but, piracy can be shitty sometimes. You could be, you could be robbed and, treated like shit at first, and then you become an asshole just so you can get ahead. And you can see in Usopp, he believes in a good person being a pirate. Even though they are all pirates, I feel like Usopp, Chopper, and Luffy treat it like such an adventure, while everybody else kind of takes it a little more serious. But when push comes to shove, Usopp will find a way out of no way. He will find a way to prevail with help or without it. And as shown against his fight with Chu, like I said, he tried to play dead at first with Chu, and then he realized if he doesn't fight Chu right now, one-on-one, he separated him from the Arlong gang. If he doesn't step up right now, he might as well just walk away from being a pirate before he gets too deep into this, before he gets a bounty. And he decided to step up, and he won against a very formidable opponent, Chu. I mean, Usopp's opponents are 9 times out of 10 almost always stronger than him or at the same level. And he finds a way to not only stand out amongst monsters like Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy, but he finds a way to keep up, or back them up with his sniping ability, as shown at Enies Lobby when he launched those keys, the keys to Robin's handcuffs. He used his sniper ability there, not necessarily in a fight, but as backup. They needed those keys to free Robin. Robin, a beast in her own right, was able to take out an army of Navy men. One thing, I could imagine down the line for Usopp would be him maybe getting a devil fruit ability, or maybe he can learn this new thing called hockey that we learned about here recently at Sabaody Archipelago, and I think that he could, use that ability. There are so many devil fruit users on the crew, at least 50%, if not more. So it is good to have people that can swim, but I feel like Usopp is just missing that one thing to put him over, to put him at the level of the top tier people in his crew. I don't feel like Usopp has to be the strongest member of the Straw Hats. I am not that type of person. I love the fact that every Straw Hat has a job on the crew, but they also have a job in battle. Like, they have a thing. His thing is cannons on the ship, or his slingshots, or his new weapon, the Kabuto, and he backs people up. There has been multiple occasions where he's helping them out. One of my favorite shots in recent memory of him standing up with his Kabuto aimed at Kizaru, the admiral, who he stands no chance at defeating, by the way. But the fact that he's come from being so cowardly that he would play dead in a pool of ketchup, but now he's literally aiming his Kabuto at a enemy who's so much stronger than he is, by far, but is willing to stand up for his friend Zoro, who's about to be killed, who's about to be eviscerated by this man. Him doing that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that shot. And not only his fight with Luffy is memorable, but his battle with, not battle, but when he turns into Sniper King, his alter ego, when he shows up, that's a memorable moment that we'll all remember. His fight, it was kind of dorky at first as Sniper King when it first showed up, and I didn't understand it. I did see pictures of Sniper King. I had heard of Sniper King prior to that arc, but I didn't understand it until the Sniper King song played. And he is interesting in the fact that he'll make decisions that seem cowardly but lead into heroic moments, like him falling behind at Enies Lobby and then eventually recruiting those giants that were guarding the gates, turning them to the good side and finding a way. And one of the best moments from that entire arc, Enies Lobby, one of the best arcs. I mean, I keep saying that because every arc is amazing in One Piece. But he launches a Firebird star at the Marine flag and burns it to a crisp through Luffy's orders, which was epic as fuck, if you ask me. I mean, that is a major offense. Like, I believe you would be executed for doing that. That's how bad that was. And he did it without blinking an eye. Well, Sniper King did it fearlessly, I might add. And another great thing about Usopp is he is laugh out loud funny. Sometimes his jokes are a little too on the nose, I guess you could say, no pun intended. But when he had to team up, usually when he's teamed up with somebody else, like Zoro in their fight against the CP9 members, that was hilarious. I love the idea of Zoro, one of the, if not strongest members of the Straw Hat crew, arguably the strongest member of the crew, teamed up with Usopp, arguably weakest member of the crew, if it's all arguable. physically. But he ends up making him into a sword because, Zoro's so strong, he could just carry the weight of Usopp, who is now handcuffed to him. I thought that was a fun interaction between two great characters. And, like I was trying to remember earlier, his fight with Perona was amazing. He was able to incorporate his Sniper King alter ego in that. And we actually got to see some character development of him, like, talking to Sniper King in his mind. Like, he's developed this thing that makes him feel better, like wearing, sunglasses or something, so you don't have stage fright, I guess. Realizing that he is really good at this when he sits down and thinks and realizes he can come up with a strategic way of winning. And I love that about his character. Just when you think that he's just going to scream and yell and make a fuss about anything that could possibly be scary, he pulls a trick out of his hat, one of his little inventions, and finds a way to beat a very powerful opponent in Perona. He actually was the only one who could fight her because he already is negative, and her whole ability revolves around her negative ghosts who make you feel like shit. But he always feels like shit. He's always depressed. He's always anxious. He's always worried. I know that feeling. And that's kind of, became a positive there. He turned a negative into a positive. And I thought that was really well done. I didn't expect that to happen. Even when they already showed us these negative ghosts, I just didn't see it coming to that. And it shocked me, and that was such a cool character development moment for him, because not only did he neutralize her ability, he overcame some of her zombies by perfectly launching salt bullets into their mouths, and came up with a strategy to scare her and knock her out instead of actually attacking her with a weapon, which is interesting as well. So he didn't need to lay like a hand on this lady, which was kind of cool too. But he found a way to beat her through just thinking better, trapping her and figuring out her ability. He figured out that she could project her self out of her body, astro projection, and then launch bombs at him. But he figured out she had to leave her body in her room to safely guard that, because it's a weakness, basically. He figured out her weakness quickly enough so he could win the battle. And I thought that was dope. He does that a lot. He does come up with cool moves. He doesn't even necessarily have to ever win the fight against the main villain. He can be a support character in the big fights against, like, Oars, for example, or when they took on Bartholomew Kuma's pacifista robot clone together at Sabaody. That is dope. Seeing the whole Straw Hat gang get together and fight a strong opponent is so much fun and sends chills down my spine when I get to see those moments happen, especially when they're able to overcome them, like Oars or Gecko Moria. They really worked together. I would say for things I didn't like about his development, I guess, throughout the story, the only thing that comes to mind is his fight where he teamed up with Chopper, which was another amazing team up. Love that. I love when he gets a good team up, someone to bounce off of with his comedy. So he teams up with Chopper, who admires the hell out of him, and Usopp always fights better when he's teaming up with somebody, because he doesn't want to look like a coward, and he wants to protect his friends. And the only thing I didn't like about this fight is when he got hit directly in the face, the skull. He cracked his skull. Mr. Four, with a bat, which was said to be very heavy, hit Usopp dead on and cracked his skull. And he was able to get back up and keep fighting, I believe. I don't even think that was the end of the fight. I believe he found a way to win still, unless it was just Chopper who did it. I might be misremembering. But either way, Usopp does get back up and gets help from Chopper. I don't expect Usopp to die, but especially that early on in the show. But I think that he should have been out after that. Yes, let them win the battle, but have Usopp be all bandaged up and unable to get out of the stand up on his own. He should have major concussion. He should have been knocked out for the rest of that fight with Crocodile and whatnot. He didn't do a whole lot physically after that, I guess. He did a lot of running around, though, which seemed ridiculous. But this is an anime, and I do give them a little bit of leeway there. It just seemed ridiculous that they went ahead and showed us a x-ray of his skull being cracked, and yet he found a way to get back up against an opponent much stronger than him. Usually when he beats opponents much stronger than him, he keeps a distance. He does take some damage usually, but enough where you can believe that he could get back up and find a way to win. And the best thing about him doing that, when he does have these one-on-one fights or 2v2 fights, is that after that he is relatively unable to help, is how I feel. I mean, sometimes you can understand if, he's getting medicine, I guess, from Chopper. If Chopper's nearby, luckily they do have their white mage, Chopper, to save the day. And he's a skilled doctor. I just don't think he can get people back on their feet so quickly. Three characters I can believe on the crew that I can get right back up would be Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy, because they have been shown to us to be very durable and have a lot of endurance and almost superhuman-like. But Usopp is the regular guy on the crew. He was portrayed as a regular dude that, plays pirate. He plays pirate with children. And he's very smart. He's come up with really cool inventions and whatnot, and weapon ideas, sometimes childish, sometimes crazy advanced. If you look at Nami's first version of the Climatact weapon that she has, that stick that controls the weather, it was still pretty advanced technology when he first made it. I believe it was able to create a cloud, a small one at that, maybe? I can't remember. She was able to make little hot and cold bubbles that created stuff, but it wasn't yet perfected until they went to Sky Island, and he was easily able to figure out these dials, which I assume can't be that easy, use them a few times and maybe, but he was able to incorporate them into her weapon and make it a very dangerous weapon, which she used to defeat a member of CP9 essentially on her own, an assassin. And Usopp made that weapon. So he is not a dum-dum. He's probably one of the smartest members of the crew. I mean, at least strategically. I would love to see a part of an adventure where he has to play chess or a game or something, and finds a way to win and beats a major admiral in a game and it frees his crew if he wins. That'd be kind of a cool episode, just to really see his strategy play out. Or maybe an episode where the crew gets together and they're about to go into war and they find out, they let him come up with the plan. That might have already happened, but I think usually he follows Luffy's orders, which makes sense. Luffy is the captain, and Luffy does make good orders in battle. I think Luffy has good strategy as well, as shown in multiple fights. He comes up with strategies. It takes a little longer for him. He usually has to get his ass beat by somebody, and then he realizes his opponent's abilities and then comes up with something. I think that Usopp is better at thinking on his feet than most in battle, and that's how he finds a way to win. And he has, like I've mentioned, some of the best fights and some of the funniest interactions with the crew and new people they meet along the way. Usopp is an inspiring character for kids to look up to, and he's a character that if you're watching and you feel like a regular ass person and you want to be on this crew, he's one of the characters that you feel like you can relate to being on this crew with these superhumans with devil fruit abilities and just being physically more imposing than he is. And he has so much he started at rock bottom, so he's got a lot of space to grow. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes much stronger leading into the new world, or if he does get to go to Albath someday and become a stronger person, or if he does end up getting some real training and becoming a major player on the Straw Hat crew, even if he doesn't. And down the line, he's still, just using his strategy and his inventions to get the edge on certain opponents. If that's all it is, great. I'm good with it because I like it. I know we still have to eventually meet him. He's got to meet his father again, Yasopp, so I wonder where that's going to go. You got to think he's got to, he looks up to his father, but he's got to, you got to imagine that he has some feelings of, you left me and mom behind and now she's dead. And you never came back. And yes, now I'm a great pirate or whatever. I'm on one of the greatest pirate crews on the current seas, but you left us behind, man. But, it was motivation for him to become a great sniper and strategist on a great crew, the Straw Hat crew. And eventually we want to see him go back to Syrup Village and maybe settle down with the blonde lady from that damn arc. I think that, other than that, I think it would be interesting if when the Straw Hat crew does reach their goal and they split up or whatever comes of everybody, and if Usopp makes it through this adventure and doesn't end up dying or sacrificing himself to save someone, and he makes it through, I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes like the second most notorious pirate in the seas, just from because he talks himself up so much. He's so good at advertising himself to everybody, calling himself Captain Usopp and whatnot, and he could be like the Dark King Rayleigh from Gold Roger's crew. People might assume, because of his boisterous personality, they might assume just from legends that he is the second in command of the Straw Hat crew, and he would just have this crazy legend about him, which would be kind of funny. And he goes back to Syrup Village, a hero of piracy. Maybe they find a way so they don't have to go to jail ever too as well. This has been more Fanime character analysis of the one, the only Usopp from One Piece. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. If there's anything I forgot, please comment down below. Please subscribe, and look forward to more videos deep diving into One Piece characters coming soon